Welcome to Hawthorne Hill Farm and Homestead. I'm Marilyn Cameron, and with the help of my husband Paul, we operate this lovely 46-acre farm property in the Annapolis Valley of Nova Scotia. Our children are grown and don't live with us anymore, but we still love this lifestyle and want to continue feeding ourselves. On our farm, we grow a wide array of market garden vegetables, berries, and orchard fruits, and garlic. Plus, we raise free-range hens for eggs, lots of meat birds in the summer. We have a flock of Shetland sheep for wool, and our newest addition to the farm is our family milk cow. Each week, we will post an episode that starts us off in the early spring and will continue until the late fall. We will show you all the things that we do on our farm to get ready for the growing season, how we care for our crops, how we raise our animals, how we make nutritional meals, bake bread, make cheese, pasta, preserves, and so much more. We hope that you will join us and will be inspired to try some new things that will help you become more self-sustaining and to fill your own larder. Thank you. And Coop cleaning day, and we're going to clean the floor first and foremost, get it down to the wood floor, and we'll wash some of these dishes and little tables that we put feed things on, ramps. I'm going to clean out the nest boxes, wash them and touch them up with paint where needed, and we're going to vacuum cobwebs or brush them down, vacuum cobwebs from the ceiling. And here we go. We do a good cleaning in the coop twice a year, usually April, and it is April early, and we do one in October, and it just freshens it up. We clean the floor when the chickens are in full time. We clean the floor every 2 to 4 weeks in the winter, and maybe the nest boxes a couple of times. If they don't poop in the nest boxes, or eggs break, if eggs don't break, then that's great. Hey, a round bale for everybody. Let's see if he can get that round bale into that feeder. Oh, he did it. Great job. Only 6 loads today. And now we'll sweep, and then I'll scrape with the shovel. We have two coops. In this one, we have one row of nest boxes along one wall and one single large one with a lid on the other. Each has a perch which helps keep the hens from pooping into the nest boxes. High roosts off the ground are a good thing. Hens love them. Make sure they are sturdy because they could fall when they're loaded with several birds. Ouch. Each coop has two windows with hardware cloth screens. The windows can be opened in the warm weather, and the screens will keep out predators, especially at night. The floor is covered with straw, and it's easily accessible and affordable here in Nova Scotia. Little wooden tables that are handmade keep food and dishes and water off the ground, and it's at beak level. We have lights on a timer, as it's very important if you want hens to lay year-round. You aim for about 14 hours a day of light on. Hens must have oyster shell for calcium, as this makes their eggshells strong. They also need grit, and it's essential for their digestion. Without it, hens just don't flourish. So as much as I love painting, I do not think it's a good idea to paint nest boxes or ramps or anything that a chicken walks on. And I wish I never did it. I wish I just varnished it and left it as wood, and it would have still looked really nice. And I wouldn't have to do this foolish painting every year. Paul installed these picket fence tops to the front of all the nest boxes. They deter the hens from roosting on the edges of the box and pooping into the nest, and it works really well. One way to tell if you've got mice in your coop is to look, if you have a ledge anywhere and you see a lot of brown stain and it's kind of greasy, that's a mouse passing by in that area, back and forth, back and forth. And they do tend to stay close to the wall. It's just a rodent thing, but they don't have bladders. And so it just leaks out of the back of them. So if they need to pee, it drips out and it ends up on their back end or on their side. And as you're running along your ledges, you'll get a lot of dark stains. I've already washed it off, so I can't show you. But if you do see that, or you see any poop on your ledges, then you need to get something in here. You can set some traps. And this is an ingenious little thing that I thought of. It's just a piece of PCV pipe. It's very small, narrow. And then I put two nails here, a nail here, and a nail here, and there would be nails here. And it just snugly fits there. And in here, I can put some warfarin cubes. And these nails prevent the mouse from pushing it out here so the chickens get it. So at the most, sometimes I'll see a couple crumbs there, which wouldn't hurt anything. But it keeps the warfarin in here, and then it keeps your rodent population well under control. Do you have your own favorite chicken breed? I certainly do. Just for temperament and egg laying ability. It's hard to get the best kind of egg layers here in rural Nova Scotia, but you can certainly get some of the heritage breeds like Rhode Island Reds and the Buff Orpingtons. Those are lovely breeds, very kind, very hardy for Nova Scotia winters. It does get cold here, and our barn is not insulated, but it is with all these animals. So we have, of course, one dairy cow, 13 sheep, and about 70 chickens. So we always have between 50 and 75 chickens, and that makes a lot of warmth in this small part of our barn. Um, we cover the windows with plastic in the winter to keep drafts out. It's not a completely draft-free barn, but it is cozy. It's clean and dry, and that's number one. And then chickens can tolerate cold temperatures, and of course we have to have heated waters for buckets for the sheep and cow, and chicken waters for the chickens, so that they always have access to unfrozen water. So we do have some plugs in here, which is nice, and overhead lights. So I'm having a chicken coop with some electricity is wonderful. The We get our chickens from a local hatchery, and we get some of the industry birds, and we get, which are, they call them bovrans. So there's black ones and brown ones, and of course there's also the leghorn cross ones, and they're really high producing. They really produce a lot of eggs, and what their mix is, well, as anyone's guess. It's sort of a trade secret, but you can kind of guess what's in them. And you can also get some heritage chickens, which I like to have some heritage chickens as well in my flock, because you want to keep the heritage breeds alive and thriving for future generations. And so I always pay a little extra. For instance, an industry chick might be $4 or $5 a day run, or a day old chick that is sexed as a pullet or a cockerel. But a heritage one, boy, I think they're pushing $8 now for one chicken. So Chick Day is coming up soon. It is April, and we could get early chicks, but we always opt to get heritage and a mix of heritage and industry birds on the same date, so that we can raise them together as one flock. And that date is in early June. And then you need a heat light on, but not for too long. Not for too long. Yeah. There, everything that's had one coat now has had two. And keep the green paint off, yeah. Okay, I'm off to go get seed potato. They called this morning, and that's ready to come in. So I'm going to run up and get that. Got the seed potato. 2 bags, 50 pounds. What I do is I come up to an upstairs, the loft in our house, and I'm just put a big vinyl sheet on the floor, soft side up, and I'm going to lay the seed potatoes out on that until they sprout. Take out any bad ones. You wouldn't want to plant those anyway. And they're not to be touching. And these are a Norland red. They're lovely market. They're really beautiful red in a basket at the market. And they're lovely, soft, buttery flesh. And these are a superior white. That's my favorite. So I'm going to lay them out, not touching. And I'm going to try to leave a little gap so I know which is which. But I can get 50 pounds laid out here, just like I did for the white. Back again. So we got the seed potatoes laid out, picked up, laid out, and it's not anywhere near supper time, so we keep doing some stuff. So this morning I swept down the cobwebs as much as I could reach, and the walls got a really good sweep down, and then I decided to paint, and it is nice and fresh looking. The walls nice and fresh compared to filth. I guess a cow is pretty dirty on the walls. They rub against it, they shake and things like that. So now I'm going to do another round of cleaning out the stall again. And I probably won't do it again for a while. It shouldn't take too long. I'd say 45 minutes is all. Hay can be heavier than straw when it's wet, and this is fairly fresh. It's just if the cow lived in here a week or so before the sheep were put in here when the stanchion got built. So I'd like to get rid of all the cow pee and stuff and just give them a fresh bed, and then they'll be good for at least a couple of months. When we feed sheep, they only get fresh bedding when you clean out their stall, and otherwise they just when they get fed, if you spread it around like here or there, what they decide that they don't want to eat will become bedding. So it doesn't take long for it to build up to like a foot, even 2 feet high. Just from that, you can't use other bedding for sheep. It's just got to be hay. Otherwise, you'll get in their fleece. And fleece is part of their value, and it's all the value of my sheep because they're Shetlands, which are just exclusively for their wool. And they're our pets. They've been locked out, and yeah, so this is a good foot high. And there is a bed, a thin layer underneath of wet, soggy stuff. So it's actually not a bad idea to clean it out now. So I'll get that job done. Then we'll see where we are for